Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're all doing well. Another predicted XI. The videos keep coming on the channel and the games keep coming as well. Norwich City have been bombarded with a lot of games, of course, as we try and complete the season after lockdown. And the way Norwich City are playing, you kind of want another break to try and get these players all going again, because these last two home performances haven't been good. Norwich City faced Manchester United in the FA Cup quarter-final. It's the first time Norwich City have got to an FA Cup quarter-final over 28 years. And of course, if they were to beat Man United, we'd be just one game away from Wembley. Of course, fans can't go to Wembley, and it's going to feel slightly bittersweet because the FA Cup is all about the fans, and fans not being at the game is going to feel different. But you know, you still want Norwich City to do well. You still want Norwich City to go and win the FA Cup. And this is probably our biggest game of the season now, with Norwich City effectively relegated after two woeful home performances. I think we only had one shot on target in both of those games, which is terrible. Norwich City must turn their attention now to the FA Cup. And this is our biggest game of the season. Norwich City look like they're going to get relegated, but can we go on and win the FA Cup? It's going to be very unlikely, but who knows? After that great performance against Tottenham in the round of 16, my favourite away day, one of my favourite ever away days actually, can Norwich City go and win the FA Cup? And yeah, the season hasn't started too well, has it, guys? I think I had a dream that the world went into lockdown because of a virus, and then Norwich City came back with two dreadful home performances to effectively relegate us. It's not a dream, it's reality, but let's hope Norwich City can turn the tide. In this video, I'm going to be predicting the team, telling you the team I'd like to see come up against Manchester United, and in what I think is the biggest game of the season now for Norwich City. As I said, an FA Cup quarter-final, it's the first time we got to one in 28 years, so this is huge now for Norwich City. But I think the excitement for it has been dwindling away just because fans can't go to the stadium, and I haven't been much of a fan of football without fans. And of course, Norwich City don't look like they're going to win coming up against a really good Man United team, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, in this video, as I said, predicting the team, and also going to go through a few of your guys' comments about the Everton game, sorry, afterwards. So keep an eye out for that. But looking at the team news, in goal, we've got to start Tim Krul. Let's remember his penalty heroic. Let's go back to better times, guys, much better times, and let's cast our minds back to the start of March, where Tim Krul, penalty heroics, 9,000 fans at Tottenham. What a night that was. Tim Krul's been our player of the season, and yeah, Tim Krul, you could say, has played a massive part in Norwich City getting to an FA Cup quarter-final, which is huge. And yeah, it's not that excitement for the FA Cup, which is really sad, just because fans can't go. But yeah, Tim Krul in goal, really reliable goalkeeper. Back four, we can really only play four defenders: Jamal Lewis, Ben Godfrey, Tim Closer and Max Aarons. I think defensively we were a lot better against Everton than what we were against Southampton. We kept our shape more, and I thought Max Aarons had a decent game. I thought Ben Godfrey looked a lot better. So we've got a very young back four, and I think they were a little bit better against Everton. They kept their shape well, they defended well, but of course the big problem for Norwich City is going the other end of the pitch, where we've only scored 2 open play goals in 2020. That's not good. That's really bad. So we're having problems at that end of the pitch, and I don't know what it is, because Farke likes to play this attacking football, but just for whatever reason it's not working going forward. But no, that back four are doing okay. They're doing a good job. Two central defensive midfielders, I'd go for Alex Tettey and Mario Rancic. And I want to quickly touch on the lineup against Everton. Of course, a lot of people were quite disappointed with the lineup. Josip Drmic starting, Lucas Rupp starting, Duda starting. You could kind of understand Farke's logic. I did think he wanted to rest some of the players for this game, which I think is ludicrous, because the Premier League still got to be a big priority. But I think he was trying to give us a more defensive shape. But if you're starting Lucas Rupp and Duda and resting players, you've got to bring in someone like Mario Rancic, and it's criminal Mario Rancic is not getting a lot of game time. And if he doesn't start this game, I'm going to be fuming, because Mario Rancic played a huge part in Norwich City getting promoted to the Premier League, and I'd be angry if I was Mario Rancic, knowing that I'm a player who can influence the game and has, you know, played a big part in Norwich City getting to the Premier League, and seeing players like Lucas Rupp, Duda start ahead of me would anger me. So Mario Rancic, I think, has to start, and Alex Tettey came in and did a good job against Everton. Made us look a lot more defensively solid, made a couple of good tackles, and on the Alex Tettey and Tom Tribal debate, I think Tom Tribal works with Alex Tettey, but not by himself. Alex Tettey's defensive positioning is excellent, and for a 34-year-old, it's quite bad that Norwich City haven't actually been able to replace him. The 3 players in front of the 2 central defensive midfielders, I still keep the 4-2-3-1. It's good we reverted back to that after the shambolic display against Southampton. Emi Buendia, Ono Hernandez and Todd Cantwell. I think Cantwell through the middle, Hernandez on the left and Buendia on the right. For me, Hernandez has to start. I think he was probably Norwich City's best player, certainly in the first half. He's someone who was direct. He was someone who was trying to work the defence and created some of our best chances. Yeah, I think Hernandez deserves another chance to start. Todd Cantwell, I think, through the middle. I know Cantwell's played a lot on the left, but why not give Cantwell a chance through the middle? I think, obviously, being benched, he deserves to come back into the team. Definitely replacing Duda. I mean, Duda's set-piece deliveries were atrocious. It was one of the worst individual performances of the season, in my opinion. So Duda just can't start again. And as I said, why not play someone like Mario Rancic, who's got us up promoted? He's someone who's passionate about the club. Duda's just not passionate and he's not performing well. And on the right, Emi Buendia, a player on his day who can be magical. He hasn't really done a lot since coming back from lockdown, but no, he's a player on his day who's magical. And up front, Timu Pukki. Timu Pukki hasn't scored an open play goal in 2020. He's just, it's really frustrating to see because obviously he's a player who's fantastic. 11 Premier League goals is still a good tally, but Pukki's just out of form at the moment. But 1 goal might do him a lot of confidence. I want to turn to some of your comments now and discuss a little bit about Man United and how we can beat them, because it's going to be a tough game against Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes has been excellent since coming to United. Martial's coming off the back of a hat-trick. Rashford's playing well. Pogba's coming into the side now and doing well. It's the worst time to play Man United, and it would have been a lot better to play them before the lockdown, where they had quite a few injuries and weren't really playing that great. But no, I think our hope is Man United hopefully resting a few players. Igalo and Greenwood are, of course, players I prefer. I'm loving the Norwich City side, but I feel a lot confident if the likes of Igalo, Greenwood and Mata were starting ahead of Bruno Fernandes and Martial and Rashford and people like that. Tom O'Brien says, wrong team again, no fight. And now the only player who wanted to get things going. Yeah, for me, if we want to beat Man United, I think we should start Anel. He's the bright spark. And Norwich City are really struggling for goals, but you can't bench Anel, in my opinion, because he's the one player who was up for the fight and he's got something to prove. And he's playing quite well. Gavin says no fans to drive them on makes a good big difference. There's a really interesting point on the fans, actually. As I said, I'm not particularly excited as I would have been for the FA Cup, obviously because Norwich City are playing poorly and it looks incredibly unlikely, but because fans can't go. Just fans make football, don't they? They make it. Football's not for the businesses, it's for the fans, and that's why so many people fall in love with it. And the fans not being able to go to the games, it's sad, and hopefully they will be back, will be able to go to games soon when it's safe. But no, yeah, fans make a big difference, and I'm sure they could have made an impact and made Norwich City back up their ideas in that second half, but still we're bottom for a reason. George Kenny says lack of inventiveness. That sums it up perfectly for me. Look at Manchester City when we played them, beat them 3-2. We was creative, was full of confidence, and our attacking play was great as well. All the players were confident, and we was creating a lot of chances against Manchester City. That inventiveness is now gone. I don't know what it is, because a lot of the players are still there, but just under Farker, we've lost that confidence going forward, and we've lost that inventiveness, and I don't know what it is, but as I said, we're not creating as many chances, and we're struggling going forward. I think it's confidence is a big issue. The players don't have the confidence, and probably quality as well, but the players are lacking confidence going forward, and that nice style of play we like to play, you know, overloading the midfield, we can't seem to do that at the moment, which is frustrating. NCFC Vid, not a bad performance to be fair, but must work on defending set pieces. Was it a bad performance? I do think it probably was a below average performance for Norwich. I think having one shot on target against a mid-table team when you're fighting to stay up is unacceptable, but I get what you're saying. I thought defensively was a lot better, which is, you know, one of the real positives we can go into this Man United game. And but yeah, defending set pieces is a joke. Duda was completely stationary. Kenny McLean and Tim Closer should be... If you're doing zonal marking, you've got to attack the ball. And if you watch the highlights back, Duda just lets Michael Keane as a free run. Kenny McLean and Tim Closer don't attack the ball when it's an easy finish. And I'm always an advocate for players being on the line, and there was no one to be seen. And Kenny McLean kind of put in another invisible performance, didn't he? Let's hope he can improve. And let's finally end with Karen Lemon, who says, not as bad as Southampton, but no goal threat, going once again, going down and out. Yeah, I thought we improved defensively, which is a positive we can take, but there's no goal threat, and that's the major concern, because under Farke, you have this idea of nice attacking football, and for whatever reason, we get to the final third, and Pukki's perhaps not making those intelligent runs as he did earlier. There's perhaps a lack of confidence, lack of bravery going forward, and yeah, that not having a goal threat in 2020 and in the Prem, because we did have a goal threat at the start of the season, but not having this goal threat now is a real worry. Score prediction, I'm going to have to say a Manchester United win, 2-1 Man United, but you never know. Norwich City defensively have been a lot better. Well, they were a lot better against Everton. You'd think Buendia and Pukki would start, hopefully, on their day, their quality. So hopefully they can start pulling their socks up and putting in performances we know they can. It's going to be incredibly tough against Man United. Of course, I think our main hope is that likes of Bruno and Pogba and Rashford are all benched. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gives some of the youngsters a chance. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. But to improve, needs to be better at set pieces. And we need to show a bit of fight and a bit of goal threat going forward as well. And second half performances have been dreadful. We need to improve on those second half performances because they've been bad all season and they weren't in the Championship. So yeah, we need to show a bit of quality and a bit of confidence, and let's hope we can pull off a shock and get to the FA Cup semi-final. It's our biggest game of the season now. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe to Norwich City Central if you're new, and I'll see you later.